Finance Ministry expects India's growth to be closer to 7% for FY25. This is higher than the 6.3% estimated by the International Monetary Fund. In its economic report, the Finance Ministry has highlighted that India is expected to become the world's third largest economy over the next 3 years, with a GDP of $5 trillion and can aspire to be a $7 trillion economy by 2030. Sapna standing by now to take us through the details. Sapna, the government issuing a State of the Economy report. This comes almost in lieu of the economic survey, which typically is something that precedes the budget. Take us through some of the highlights of what the review says.
Absolutely. First, on to some big numbers, and some of them you've already highlighted. Of course, first, FY25, we can look forward to a growth that is going to be closer to 7%. Now, the government here is not saying around at 7% or 7% plus. Maybe because that's, a base effect kicking in, because even if it's at closer to 7% for close to this, that will be the close to fourth year that the growth rate will be around those 7% levels. Hence, the government is saying close to 7%. That's one. Of course, for the current financial year, they are going with the estimates of MOSPI, which is around 7.3%. The document does make a mention that this is higher than the RBI's growth projection of 7% for the current financial year. That's so much in terms of the growth numbers for this year and the next year. Of course, the big one to watch out for is $5 trillion economy in the next 3 years, which is basically around FY27. And by 2030, India aspires to become a $7 trillion economy. So the keywords here, or rather, some of the points to note are basically aspires to, and that will be dependent on certain factors like the inflation differentials and the exchange rate. But overall, the commentary on the growth front is extremely positive. That's one. However, it also talks about some important priority reforms that need to be done in terms of skilling, health, and energy security. All these three fronts are very important. The document makes a lot of reference to that. The CA has been particularly, kind of vocal in terms of talking about these three areas. Also, going forward, talks about the key challenges, and those key challenges that the government is now highlighting are very different from the challenges that we have faced over the last 5 to 6 odd years in terms of economy, growth, in terms of fiscal challenges, monetary challenges. All that is not being spoken about now. So 3 to 4 key areas. One, of course, is the fragmentation of the globalization that had occurred, dramatically over the last couple of years. That leading to disruption of supply chains. What's the alternative? The alternative is not going to be easy, not going to be found out very quickly. Onshoring, offshoring, all of these are having various impacts on various growth parameters. That's one. Second, also the big challenge now is going to be in terms of the artificial intelligence, because this could impact potential employment. Third, last but not the least, the energy security and the trade-off between energy security, economic growth rate, and the energy transition. So these are the three main focus areas going forward, and we have to wait and watch and see how the commentary in the budget, interim budget on Feb 1 pans out, and how things progress for the next couple of months. But definitely, we are not talking anymore about the, the so-called fiscal challenges or so-called monetary policy challenges or so-called policy reform challenges. That appears to be kind of at the backseat at the moment, and there are new things that the government is talking about.
All right, Sapna, appreciate you joining us. Well, we will have to wait to see if the Finance Minister's speech takes into consideration some of the data that's been put out by the government today. Now, legal